What would you do if the person you trusted most turned your child into a prop for their own glory? I never thought I'd be asking myself that question, but life has a way of unraveling the certainties you cling to. My name is Claire, and this is the story of how my sister, Lila, the golden child of our family, nearly destroyed the one thing I cherished most, my daughter, Emma. Growing up, Lila was the sun around which our family orbited. Beautiful, charismatic, and endlessly talented, she could do no wrong. She was the dancer who won every competition, the student who aced every exam, the daughter who made our parents' eyes gleam with pride. I was the quieter one, the shadow in her glow, content to cheer her on. I loved her, even if her light sometimes left me in the dark. When I had Emma, though, everything changed. For the first time, I felt like I had something that was wholly Minea, tiny, perfect life that depended on me, not Lila. Emma was 6 months old when Lila's visits became more frequent. She'd sweep into our small apartment, her laughter filling the space like a melody. "Oh, Claire, she's adorable," she'd gush, scooping Emma up before I could protest. I didn't mind at first. Lila was family, after all, and Emma seemed to love her aunt's energy. But then I noticed the phone. Always the phone. Lila would pose Emma like a doll, propping her up in frilly outfits I'd never seen, adjusting her tiny hands to hold props, snapping photo after photo. "She's a natural," Lila would say, her eyes glued to the screen as she uploaded the pictures to her social media. Lila was an influencer, you see. Her followers numbered in the hundreds of thousands, drawn to her curated life of glamour and inspiration. She'd built a brand on authenticity, or so she claimed, but I started to see the cracks. The outfits Emma wore in those photos, bought by Lila, not me. The captions about Auntie's little muse, written without my input. At first, I brushed it off. Lila was just excited, I told myself. She loved Emma. What harm could a few photos do? But the photos weren't just photos. They were a performance. Lila's followers ate up the adorable Annie content, and soon, Emma was the star of her page. "Mini fashionista," she'd caption, dressing my daughter in clothes I couldn't afford. "Future influencer in the making," she'd write, as if Emma's life was hers to script. I started to feel uneasy, but every time I tried to bring it up, Lila would laugh it off. "Claire, relax. It's just fun. Don't you want Emma to be famous?" Famous? She was a baby, not a brand. The turning point came when I found a sponsored post. Lila had partnered with a baby product company, using Emma's face to promote a formula I'd never used. The caption raved about how it was Annie Lila's secret to keeping her favorite girl happy and healthy. My stomach churned. I've been breastfeeding Emma exclusively. Lila hadn't even asked me. When I confronted her, she shrugged. "It's just business, Claire. You're overreacting." Overreacting? I felt like I was losing my daughter to her sister's online empire. But the worst was yet to come. One evening, I got a call from a woman named Sarah. She introduced herself as a photographer who'd worked with Lila on a shoot. "I just wanted to check on Emma," she said, her voice hesitant. I didn't feel right about what happened. My heart sank as she explained. Lila had taken Emma to a professional studio without my knowledge, dressing her in outfits for a clothing brand's campaign. The shoot had gone on for hours, Sarah said, and Emma had been fussy, crying for most of it. Lila had insisted on continuing, saying the photos were too important to stop. Sarah had quit the job in disgust. I was shaking as I hung up. Emma, my sweet girl, had been treated like a prop, her discomfort ignored for the sake of a perfect shot. I called Lila immediately, my voice trembling with rage. "How could you do this?" I demanded. She didn't even apologize. "Claire, you're blowing this out of proportion," she said. "Emma was fine. It's not like she'll remember it." That was the moment I knew I had to act. I banned Lila from seeing Emma until we could set boundaries. It broke my heart. She was my sister. After all, but Emma's safety came first. Lila didn't take it well. She cried, called me selfish, said I was jealous of her success. Our parents sided with her, of course. Lila's just trying to share her world with Emma. Mom said, "Why can't you be supportive?" I felt like I was screaming into a void. But the real damage wasn't just emotional. A few weeks later, I took Emma for a routine checkup. The pediatrician frowned as she examined her. "She's underweight," she said. "Are you supplementing her diet?" I was confused. I'd been diligent about breastfeeding. Then it hit me. Lila's post about that formula. Had she been giving Emma something during her visits? I dug through her old photos, my heart racing, and found comments from followers praising the healthy glow of Emma's cheeks. But I saw something else, a slight rash, a dullness in her eyes. I hadn't noticed because I'd been so caught up in Lila's betrayal. Tests confirmed my worst fears. Emma had developed an allergy to the formula Lila had used for her posts. It wasn't life-threatening, but it had caused her discomfort and slowed her growth. The doctor was kind but blunt. If it had gone on longer, the damage could have been severe. I felt like I'd failed as a mother, letting my sister's ambition harm my child. I confronted Lila one last time. This time, she didn't deflect. She broke down, admitting she'd given Emma the formula to sell the story for her sponsorship. "I didn't know it would hurt her," she sobbed. "I just wanted to give her the life I never had." Her words stung. Lila's life had been gilded, the golden child's dream. But I saw now that her need for validation had blinded her to the cost. The aftermath was messy. I cut contact with Lila for a year, focusing on Emma's recovery. She's thriving now, her laughter filling our home again. But the scars linger, not just Emma's health, but the rift in our family. Lila's apologized, and I believe she's sincere, but trust is a fragile thing. I've learned to guard Emma fiercely, to trust my instincts over the dazzle of someone else's light. What struck me most, though, was Sarah's role. A stranger, a photographer who owed me nothing, had been the one to sound the alarm. She reminded me that sometimes help comes from unexpected places, and that's what pulled me through. I've since connected with other mothers whose children were used in similar ways online, and we're advocating for stricter laws about children's images on social media. It's a small step, but it feels like a way to turn our pain into purpose. Lila's still out there, posting her curated life. But Emma's not part of it anymore. She's my daughter, not a doll, and her story belongs to her. I'll spend the rest of my life making sure she knows that.